Hey guys. Hey, what up? Welcome to a replay analysis. In today's video, we have a guy named Sir Gamer Prism Moore, Walter Boy, Walter White. He is a VFAM 2 Protoss, and he is looking to get better at this game. He's currently Platinum, and he's playing as Protoss versus Terran. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here. Let's go ahead and help him out, figure out how he needs to fix his play. And if you guys don't know how these work, basically, long story short, I just basically yell at the person for 20 minutes. How long is this? 20 minutes and 40 seconds? Perfect. 40 seconds of positive feedback with 20 minutes of yelling at him. That's what we're going to do. Let's go. No, basically what we do is we just help the person get better at StarCraft. We give them ideas on how to improve what they're doing. Alright. You know what I would love to see? I would love to see this yellow circle. That's okay, Sir Gamer Moore. Are you fucking drunk? Alright, let me just tell you something. 12 seconds have gone by, alright? 12 seconds have gone by, and you made a probe, which I'm proud of you for that. That's a good job. You made a probe right away. But you haven't selected anything else besides the Nexus in these whole 12 seconds. And you even managed to misclick the mineral patch. I'm just kidding. I know you rallied it there for the pylon. But still, you didn't fucking do anything with your 12 seconds that just happened, and you could have easily grabbed two of the two probes, or two probes out of the 4 probes on the middle here. You could have said this probe, mine this patch, and this probe, go mine that patch. You could have done that. Okay, just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. There's nothing happening right now in the game. There's no reason why you couldn't have done that. You should definitely do that. Stack your close patches. This is something that lower level players need to really start learning how to do. Platinum, like diamond, whatever. Don't care what you are. If you don't ever do this, you really should learn how to do this, because do you want to know why? I'm going to explain this in another way that I've never explained before. Because you guys already... There's 2 reasons why. Number 1 is because it's more money. You get more money if you're better saturated on better patches, because close patches give you a little bit more money a little bit faster than far patches do. Everyone understands that. I've said that probably 10,000 times. But here's another reason why. Get out of the habit of playing fucking super slow. Get out of the habit of going like this. Probe, and then be like... Alright. Oh. Probe. Okay. You know, like, get out of the habit of playing slow as fuck. So, if you make work, or if you actually, you know, you make a probe, you're waiting on the probe, waiting on the probe, waiting on the probe. Saturate your close patches, because you're doing nothing right now anyways, and as long as you actually do something, what it starts doing for you is it starts setting the pace for your gameplay. Do you ever wonder why this is actually a real thing? If you've ever watched a pro gamer, and I'm not telling you to play like a pro gamer, by the way, but here's a concept. Have you ever watched a pro gamer and you hear this in their game? You just hear this. And you're like, why is this guy playing at fucking 400 APM and he's doing nothing? Or, have you ever looked at a pro gamer's gameplay and watched him do this? And while a probe is being made, he literally does this right here. You just watch him do this. Like he's fucking spazzing out. The reason why people do that is because it sets a pace for your gameplay. It sets a rhythm on how you play the game. And if you fucking sit there, slow as shit, you're going to probably play slow as shit quite often. You're going to be the guy that literally like hits a button every like 4 seconds. You're like, all right, do that. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and do this. But if you have a pace, a rhythm of like click, 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 you're going to do shit click, 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 click throughout the game faster. Pylon, 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 instead of pylon, pylon, pylon. It sets pace for you. Like everyone, it doesn't matter what you do in life. If you need to do something at a certain pace, it's good to warm up into that pace before you actually have to be in that pace. Like for instance, here's an analogy really quick on this idea, then we'll move on from this topic. Think about if you had to go on a run, okay? Think about if you had to run a marathon. Or if you maybe not a marathon. Let's actually do the complete opposite. Let's say you had to sprint. You're gonna have to go sprinting, and you need to run the fastest like quarter or like 50-yard dash or whatever the fuck, whatever you want to call it, the fastest sprint you can do. It's like realistically like 15 seconds or less of sprinting. And let's just say one guy, he's like stretching his legs, he's warming up, he's doing like knee taps or like knee high taps and shit. He's like really fucking getting all like his body's getting all his adrenaline in it. He's getting all in the zone to do it. And when he does it, he has like peak performance. And you have another guy who fucking literally rolls out of bed. He's like sleeping and someone slaps him in the face and is like, run, fucking run. And he's like, all right. And he just starts running. Like that's essentially what you're doing to yourself when you just fucking sit there and you just wait and you watch and you do nothing and you wait. You do nothing. Okay, time to fucking go full speed. So it is a rhythm is really nice to have throughout the game. So it's I can't stress it to you. Like if I was coaching you in person, I would fucking hate it if I watched you just do nothing on the keyboard. Or do nothing with your mouse. And I watch you just watch the game and you're literally watching a movie. You're just like, all right. I'm just waiting, dude. I can't do anything right now anyways. Don't be that guy that's like, oh, well, doing nothing is better because what can you do anyways? It's stupid. I don't want to waste APM for no reason. No, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about because that guy's going to have a slow as fuck pace. Super slow rhythm of his gameplay. That's why that guy is probably going to be the guy that's like, I can't ever break 120 APM in my life. And another guy is like, I can easily break 300 because that's just my pace the whole game. You know, like, so that's a real thing. And I would highly recommend you do shit that's important when you have time to do it. Like, for instance, just simply grab probe and saturate, grab probe and saturate. And I'm not telling you you have to go like this the whole time and just click, 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 click. But what I am telling you is I want you to do at least something. And when you get faster and faster and faster at doing it, then I do actually want you to do shit like hit like 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. Click your mouse, click your mouse, click your mouse. What it makes you a better player because it makes you, what it does. The last thing it does, here's the last thing I'll say about this and then we'll move on. When you see players do this, okay, when you see players do this, a lot of times what happens is players are just subconsciously getting their mouse speed and accuracy correct. It's a subconscious thing. It's not like a legit thing where it's like, I'm going to select 3. Okay, now I'm going to select 5. Okay, now I'm going to select 4. Now I'm going to select 6 or whatever. It's subconscious. And it because what it does is it makes you feel familiar with the speed of your mouse about how you select shit. So if you have to be like, cool, grab 5 units, you can do it like fucking super fast. It's not something that you should be like if I tell you to select 5 units and you go like this, okay, all right, got it. No, it's fucking way too long. It should be like literally instantaneous, like grab 5 units. That's why. So it's like a subconscious thing too. Like it just makes your body feel more comfortable using the mouse in this game. So when it's like crunch time where you have to like kill a baneling or split units or do whatever, focus fire or something, it's much more accurate. So do something is my point. My big point I'm stressing here. Lower level players have a tendency to do fucking nothing forever. Like in the early game, they just think that nothing is relevant. They're like, I don't need to do anything. Nothing matters, but it does. Get your rhythm going. Get your control better just by simply having a pace that you can move with. Don't just fucking idle the whole time and be AFK and just sit there because it's gonna make you have a really bad pace. So that's a huge tip. Seriously, that's like a habit tip right there. Don't fucking just like watch it. See, like right there. See what I'm talking about? Look at this. So you built that pylon right away? To be fair, you could have built it a little bit faster if you did something like spread your mineral line out and then stack the close patches. You could have built it a little bit faster, but it's fine. That was actually fine. I take it back. It was fine. I wasn't looking at your money at first. All right. See, like right now, you still have 2 close patches not even saturated. It's rough. It's rugged. You still don't have one of your patches. There we go, finally. It took you a minute to get that patch double saturated. That's fucking a lot of money you missed out on. Okay, so you can already tell what your opponent's doing. I mean, I still want you to scout, but you already know what this is. This is a double fucking walled off ramp. You don't know if it's going to be a barracks or a command center yet. It's going to be either one of those things. Probably a barracks, but because it's really early. But yeah, you obviously should still check, but you already know he's walled off because your probe went down. Because that was not. I know you didn't tell your probe to go down here. You probably told your probe to go down over to here, and the probe AI went down there because he's walled. And there is his wall. And now he lowered a depot, so now the wall is no longer there. So if you go into his base, whatever. But yeah. Now we can see double gas factory. Okay, so this dude is doing a tech build. This is not like, oh, he's gonna expand, and he also skipped the Reaper. So here's an example. If you chrono boost your Stalker out now, it actually doesn't need to happen. Also, I would also ask you, why make a second gateway super fast? I don't know what all right, we're just gonna keep going. I don't know what I've taught you before, but if I did tell you to ever go for a second gateway, that was when you would pair it with your tech. You should literally throw down your second gateway when you take your council, or when you take your robo, or when you take your Stargate. Don't do it super early against Terran, because you're gonna not use it a lot of the time. I guarantee it. Like, there's nothing this guy can do to you right now that's gonna kill you. Okay, well, I mean, if you threw down your gateway like 18 seconds later, or like 15 seconds later, it would have been fine. But I'm glad, like, you know, you made your tech early on anyways. But the problem with this, though, here's the problem, I would say, is, I mean, I still think you should make a unit overall and not have just idle gateway time. I don't think you should skip the Stalker altogether and just go for a robo. I do think you should go for a unit still, but I mean, I don't want you to chrono boost it, is all I'm saying. You should still make a unit, though, because if you just stop fucking making units and you get one base all in, you're still going to die. Overall, the choice you've made here is not the worst, but this is what happened to you as well, though. You've taken this robo so fucking fast, and you've also taken this gateway so fast, because you skipped your production on your first gateway to do it. Like, realistically, you should have made a Stalker and a Sentry and then made your Robo and your fucking second gate. Like, during the time the Sentry was being made. Or, like, as it started. So, like, these buildings should be started probably at, like, 240. Or, like, sorry, like, 250 is what I meant to say. Like, probably 250, 255-ish. Because you're not going to chrono boost your Stalker. And you should be chrono boosting your probes. Like, the second you saw this double gas, you should go back to chrono boosting your probes, and you saw, oh, he went Marine as well. The Marine as well is the big one, because there's no attack coming to you right away. But, like, here's the problem, though, for your build. So much production so fast, you cannot physically afford it. So if you were to actually maintain production out of double gate robo, you would not be able to keep making probes and pylons. Like, you can't afford all of this. This is way too fast. Also, how much idle time was on that Nexus? I'm very curious. Watch your Nexus for a second here. Also, watch this one in a second. Okay, so this Nexus finishes right now at 237, and at 238 that probe's done. And now, so far 3 seconds in total. We're just gonna multiply it by 2 and time and plus 1 second for whatever is gonna go by here. So 238. Now every second that goes by, just multiply it by 2. How many seconds goes by here? That's pretty fast. Just kidding. I thought that was, again, yeah, good job. Not bad. That was like 2 seconds of like the one Nexus and then 1 second from the other. That was fine. Not the end of the world. But like, look at your robo now. Okay, so we got the robo. Robo's done at 312, right? Now, what are we gonna do with the robo? You make an immortal at 327, so that's 15 seconds of downtime. And the second you start an immortal, what happens? Your gateways go downtime because you can't afford it. So that's all I'm saying is it's just way too fucking early. You physically can't afford this. This is like 10, 15 seconds of gateway downtime. It's a long fucking time. And now you made units out of the gateway. You make an observer. Not enough chrono boosts. You're definitely not even utilizing your chrono boost. And you're not making probes either now. Basically, this right here, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if I back it up, I want to see what you click. Let's see what you click. I want to see your selection. Let's watch how you select things. Like, because there's no reason why there should be so much downtime if you have the money for it too. For certain things like your probes, for instance. So you're selecting your probe. Selected your gateway. You canceled one to make a warp gate. You're making more pylons. You made a sentry. Hallucination. Let's say a long time for your Nexus to be like idle. So one tip I can give to you, like that was a fucking long time. One tip I can give you that's huge is, again, it relates back to the first thing we said, which is like click your mouse, fucking use your keyboard, even when you don't gotta do anything. Cycle, 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 cycle. Just get in the habit of like doing shit, but moving your hands. Because I feel like what your hands are right now is your hands are like fucking stiff when I'm watching you play. Like it's taking you. I'm not going to say I expect perfection out of you like right now. I mean, you are platinum, which is fine. But I feel like watching you do your tasks. This is on normal game speed, by the way. Watching you do your tasks sometimes I feel like it just takes you a while to do a task. Like just watch it again, okay? So we're on your camera. You made an immortal, you rallied it. You're scrolling your screen around, looking at your natural. You grabbed a probe and you set it to your third base. You're fucking around with the gateway. You grabbed a probe to make 2 pylons. Like, look at this. This probe right here, you grab it right now at 411. You grab the probe at 411. It moves. You move your camera. You build it again. You stop using that probe at 416. It took you 5 seconds to build 2 pylons. And then to go back, like, build 2 pylons, shift click the mineral line. It took you 5 fucking seconds to do that. That is a long ass time to do that. And that's, you know, I mean, if you want my honest opinion of what it should take you, like what it could take you, is about 1 second. Just 1 second. It's literally like this. Okay, we're gonna bust paint out for this for a second here. It's literally like this. Like, let's say you have a bunch of probes in the fucking mineral line, like down here in this pool or whatever. You can go like this. You can just grab a probe, green box it, whatever. It'd be like this. Green box, pylon, pylon, click, mineral line. Like, if I want to build a pylon in this circle over here, and I want to build one over here, and then I want to go back to the mineral line in the bottom, it's literally like, grab, 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 go. Whatever. Like, grab, 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 go. Again, you don't have to be exactly perfect on all your clicks. But the point I'm trying to make here is look at this. 1. I'm done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's so much longer. Like, it's just really long. And like, for instance, when I watched you build the Nexus, it was the same thing. It doesn't have to be, like, I don't think you're playing perfect. Your build does not look, or it kind of is. Your buildings are kind of touching each other. Your build doesn't have to be perfect SimCity. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be kind of fucking sloppy. I would rather you build it sloppy and fast than perfect and slow. Because for real, the fact that like, all I'm saying right here for you, for like, because nothing's happening. Literally nothing is happening. And the only time I can ever go, you know what, I understand it, why you played slow there, is because you scout at some point in time. Like if you're using like a hallucinated Phoenix and you're like, what is he doing? And I'm like, well, you should definitely try to macro while you do that. But I mean, I understand why you didn't really build shit because you're trying to scout. And when you're new to scouting, it totally fucks you over when you're like confusing yourself. Like, what does this mean? But when you're not even scouting and you're just sitting there actually macroing, if it takes you that long to do a task, it's because your habit is playing fucking slow, and that's like acceptable. So definitely try to break that habit. And I'm not just saying play faster. What I'm saying to you to do is have a rhythm. Rhythm. This is exactly why I told you to was talking about at the beginning of the game. This is something that no low players really ever fucking do. They never have a rhythm. They always feel like it's okay that they're like, I'll get there eventually. I'm a fucking tortoise. I'll hit my buttons at like, you know, as fast as I want to. Have a rhythm. And then, like, I guarantee when you start, if you're not comfortable with it, I guarantee when you start having a rhythm, you're going to fucking fat finger a lot of buttons on your keyboard. You're going to be like, ah, shit. I keep hitting the wrong buttons half the time. But practice it and get the rhythm down. Like, don't play way faster. Don't be like way faster than you can fucking handle. Don't just slap your keyboard at 700 APM and be like, I literally can't even see what I'm doing. But just try to have a rhythm that's like maybe going to push you a little bit. It's like a little bit, just like, it's like doing something all the time. It's not just like waiting. Because I'm just watching, again, long story short, this shit that you're doing, building 2 pylons and then going back to your middle line, taking 5 seconds, that is fucking ridiculously long. And that kind of shit is going to make you play slow as shit all the time. You got to definitely speed that shit up. It's not that important. Just throw your pylons down in the area. It could be there. It could have been 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 there. It does not matter. This pylon could have been there. It could have been there. It could have been there. It could have been there. Like all of these positions would have been fine. You know what I mean? You're not hitting like a bullseye. You know what I mean? And just like the mineral patches, you could click this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. You can click any patch. At this point in time, you don't have to click the specific patch you like left from. And that's exactly what you did. You drug the probe off of that patch. You built, and then you click the exact patch you dragged them off of. Just fucking like throw them back on there at this point. Fuck it. And then like, see your robo though? Like your production is just super idle. Again, we're talking about how it was too early. Like this kind of shit is not acceptable. If your build ever has a moment where it's just like, well, I made this building and I made 1 unit out of it. I made an immortal. And then I just kind of let it sit there forever. Like that's a bad build. As soon as you actually invest into a building, there is only one reason. If your build is good, there is only one reason why a building should be idle. And that reason is if you're tech swapping. That is the only reason why. And there's absolutely no reason right now for you to tech swap. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind that you added in a council. That's fine. But if you tech swap and your building then becomes idle, that's okay. But if you're gonna make like one immortal and tech swap to like, let's say a Stargate, and you're like, you know what, now I want to start making Void Rays, I would be like, was the immortal really worth it then? If you're just gonna make fucking one and then swap out of that tech entirely. So maximize production, keep that shit pumping the whole time. Like this is so inefficient how it just sits there. This is why players in Platinum, like if I were to do like Bronze GM for instance against somebody in Platinum, this is why I will not even have attacked their base one time. I will never even have attacked them. But yet I'll have 120 supply and they'll have 84. And it's like, wait, what? Well, okay, you're just not macroing. You're literally just not macroing. Like you're just leaving your buildings idle half the time. And then you think like a lot of players in lower leagues, they always think, well, I have a lot of money, so let's just make like an extra few gateways. And if you make more production before you can handle it, it fucking drags your economy down even more into like the dumps. Because like right now, for instance, how you're going up to 4 gateways now before your third's even done, and you have no probes on it. You cannot afford this either. You can barely afford your 2-gate robo. Like you can't even afford this right now, and you're adding on more gates. And you're also going for gas priority before... You're going for a high gas priority before minerals here too, which I disagree with as well. And the reason why I disagree with that as well is because the way you're building your resources, it makes no sense for going for more gateways and for going for a third base and for going for constant pro production and for going for high amounts of pylons. The way you've prioritized your gas and for going for a battery, the way you've prioritized your gas would make sense if your build was like double robo or like robo really fast robo bay, and you're gonna go like really fast fucking colossus or like with sentries or like really fast disruptors with like warp prism speed, and just make chrono boosted disruptors. Like you're doing a build that is very tech reliant because you're prioritizing the gas, and you're you know, and you're not really utilizing it. So what's gonna happen now is I guarantee unless you make a bunch of sentries, your gas is gonna go to like 600, 700. It's going to be really high, really fast. You're still not producing anything out of your robo. This is super fucking long. Look at your gas. You're not even mining, and look at your gas. You have still more gas than minerals. This is awful. And what are you doing? Look at your expenses. Minerals, minerals, minerals. 0 gas expenses. Still making gas. There's your first gas expense, but you want to know the crazy thing about this? This expense right there is still mineral heavy. A stalker is 125 minerals and only 50 gas. So the fact that you have way more gas than minerals, there's no balance here. You're going to have like, your economy is just awful at this point compared to what it could have been. And it's not even because of the damage you just took from Banshees. It's because of your priorities. And now we'll look at your expenses again. Look at your expenses again. You're fucking making mass cannons now. Also, 3 cannons in your base is way too much, man. Don't ever do that. 1 cannon and 1 battery max early game when you're playing defensive anyways. And if you're like, I know you said earlier, you're like, but ViBE, what if he goes battle cruiser, dude? What a battle cruiser, man. If you really have to make 1 cannon, 1 battery per mineral line, you should easily have enough stalkers to shit all over a BC. Easily. This is over-invested. This is like another thing that's dipping you into a fucking terrible economy. Again. And now you're about to go into like the 1,000 gas range. With no fucking minerals. It's rough for you. More mineral expenses. More mineral expenses. All this stuff you've made in the last like 3 minutes of this game is like all mineral, except for a couple stalkers. And like, for instance, like you built the robo, or not the robo, sorry, the council, and you've done nothing with it since that was done. And I think that finished at like 6 minutes, or like 5:30. You built it like as you started the 3rd base. Another mineral expense. Another dude. You are overdoing the static D like crazy right now. Because you want to know what this promotes? This is a double negative. Not only because of what I just said about your economy and how like it doesn't make any sense, but check this out. You got to start thinking about the game like this. Everybody does. That's lower level. Now, you don't have to answer these questions like in the chat. Just it's rhetorical questions, okay? Like think about it. Why are you making so many cannons? Right? You're making so many cannons so that you can zone out his harassment. And what are the cannons going to do? The cannons are going to promote you in a way, your playstyle, to not have to be paying attention, and suddenly you kill some units. You're like, oh, what? A Banshee flew into a cannon. Cool. I didn't have to do anything. It's promoting you to be a fucking lazy ass. The more static D you make, the more you promote your playstyle of sitting on your ass doing nothing. When your army is already defensive as it is, your army's sitting in your base either way. It's like already defensive, and yet you're making mass static D so that no matter what angle he attacks you from, he'll get shot by a cannon. Like you have 3 cannons in your third base, and you have 3 cannons in your main. That's insane. You have none in your natural, but I'm glad some of your units are here. You could just literally like spread your units out. You don't have to micro your units that much. You could just make them go. Stalkers go over here. Stalkers go over there to my mineral lines because he's doing Banshee harass right now. Cool. And if you wanted to, you can make. I would be okay with you making like 1 cannon per mineral line if he's going for like Cloak Banshees. You're making another cannon. Yeah, you're over, and you're making more cannons. Oof. It's 4 more cannons. Look at your gas. If you were going to do a build like this with this much static D, you know what you should have right now? You should have like 5 bases or 4 bases of nothing but 1 gas only. Just 1 gas. And like every other base has just a mineral line saturated, mineral line saturated, mineral line saturated. This is not good. This is way too much static D. And this is also way too much of a lopsided economy, and it's just way too much things that are like fucking digging a hole for you. Because here's the crazy thing. I wouldn't actually give a shit if you made the static D. I wouldn't give a shit if you made the static D. Once you were already on like 85 workers. Like if you waited until 85 workers and then made like 2 cannons per base, I'd be like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. That's fine. Because you could easily afford it then. And you could easily still maintain production for the most part. Basically, if you made like 10 cannons on like 5 bases, 2 per base, at like 85 workers, and you were at like, let's say you were at like or maybe 8 cannons on 4 bases, whatever. And this was like when you were like at 180 supply because you're getting ready to move out. Because now your army won't be there anymore. It wouldn't fucking do shit to you in terms of your production. It would be totally fine. You would max out maybe like 7 seconds later. Or like 8 seconds later. Because your economy would be like 3,400 mineral income instead of 2,200. You could have so much more. This is too expensive. Like you could literally right now be almost maxed out. So like for instance, this is the crazy thing. Right now, like this is the part where I don't know. Like you have to really like feel this logic to really agree with it. But right now, you are defending your base with a total of like 9 stalkers or something. 12. You have 12. You have 12 stalkers. If this guy actually did go mass battlecruisers or something like that, and he teleported in your base, let's say you had like 4 BCs. Let's just say he went double starport and made like 4 BCs. And he teleported all 4 of them at the same time. You would actually have a higher chance to die because you made cannons than if you just made stalkers. Because right now, at this point in the game, you could honestly be like 160 or like 150 off of just doing an efficient economy and making stalkers. Making stalkers. Making stalkers. And you could literally have the stalkers be like this. Let's say you have 45 stalkers. You could be like, all right, 15, 15, 15. Just, this guy's all about harassing me with liberators. He's all about harassing me with banshees. How about I just put 15 fucking stalkers in each one of my mineral lines? Because I'm not looking to attack him anyways. I'll just leave him there. Just so that every time he attacks my mineral line, he gets shot by my stalkers. And if you're worried about cloak, you could make either 3 observers. You could also put 1 observer per mineral line, or then you could make, if it's because it's banshees, you could make 1 cannon per mineral line, just so the cannon gives you detection, not because the cannon's gonna kill shit. And you'd be fine, no matter what he does. If it was like, oh, 4 BCs came in and you have fucking 45 stalkers, you could be like, all right, or like 35, whatever. You'd have a lot. If you have like 30 plus stalkers and 4 BCs that are in your base, you would one-shot each one of those BCs, essentially. With a one volley, BC dies, BC dies, BC dies. But what happens when you go static D like this, if he teleports in your base right there, you have a total of 10 cannons with another one on the way. So you have 11 fucking photon cannons right now. If he teleports right there, he does not fight 11 cannons at once, because you can't move the cannons. So he could fight 11 cannons one by one, by one, by one, by one, by one, by one. And an army that has to fight static D one at a time is going to fucking destroy all of your static D if it's actually threatening. So the fact that you feel like this is going to keep it from being threatening is actually wrong. Because if you actually increase your chances to die, the more isolated static D you throw all over the place at this point in time. Static D is not supposed to be what's designed to defend like an actual attack. It's supposed to be what's designed to defend harassment. And we're well beyond the harass phase of the game. This is definitely no longer the harass phase. If this guy actually wanted to just go fucking BCs all day, he could have way more than 1 at this point. But obviously your opponents also play inefficient as fuck. Everybody in Platinum plays super inefficient, so he obviously doesn't have that. It's always weird shit. People always try to do weird shit because they think that's how you're supposed to play. When if you just play efficient, you'll just fucking win. You just would win if you just play efficient. So all you have to do this game to fix it is don't make a bunch of static D, and don't make a shitload of gas, and don't take really fast production of tech and stuff like that. Just do a standard build. Literally, the biggest thing for you, Sir Gamer Moore, this is the biggest thing I can tell you. Remember how I said don't chrono boost your gateway? Forget about that. Just fucking do beta GM as best you can. Just do a standard build. Be like, okay, I'm going to play a standard build. And I'm going to try to do it better and better and better every time. That's it. Just do a standard build. You're trying to like meta your opponent, and all you're doing is you're metaing yourself. Like ridiculously hard. You should literally not even be making cannons or batteries until you're ready to move out with your attack. That is the only time you should actually make static D. Like I would love it if you did not make any static D until you were like at 170 supply. And I would also love it if you got to 170 supply around 9.5 minutes. Or so. Or like almost 10 minutes. Like just before 10 minutes. If you could do that, that'd be awesome. You could be maxed out by like right around 10 minutes. Like 10:30. And I think at around 10:30 you're going to be like at 130 supply, which is ridiculously low. See, like look at this for instance. You're at 134 at 9:17. Look at how slow your economy is probably going to develop. Or not your economy, sorry, your supply. Watch how slow it develops. At 9:17, you're at 134. 9:17. Just know also supply should be raising exponentially because you don't have the same pacing from the first minute from like 0 seconds to 60 seconds. It's not the same thing because you don't have between 0 and 60 seconds 70 fucking probes mining resources. And also once you get to a later stage of the game, you don't have to make probes anymore. You don't have to make pylons anymore. You don't have to make production anymore. You don't have to make upgrade buildings anymore. All these like costs that exist to start the game off with, they go away once you have them. And then all it is then is just building units, building units, building units, building units. So the later the game gets, the faster your supply should ramp up. And again, we at 917, you were at 134. It took you 35 seconds to make 8 supply at this point in time. And no attack is happening. There's no attacks happening right now. It's just pure macro. This is super fucking slow in terms of how you're pacing your build. And why do you have no money? Because you're overdoing your gas and you keep making fucking static D everywhere. You have 5 fucking cannons here now. Or, well, you have 4. Just kidding. I thought you had 5. You have 2 batteries and 4 cannons. This is insane how much static D you have. And you're making more production. You can't even use the ones you already have. So just to give you a pacing as well, this is a big pacing for Bronze GM style. Just know your build is super far behind if this is happening, okay? Get ready. 4 base economy is your goal, okay? 4 base economy. As soon as the main mine's out, you should have a 5th base that's ready to transfer your workers to. Okay? As soon as your natural mine's out, you should have a 6th base. As soon as your next base mine's out, you should have a 7th base. The fact that you haven't even started your 5th yet, and you already are mining out your natural as well, you are already 2 bases behind where you should be. You should already definitely already have a 5th base done by now, and you should already have a 6th base started as soon as these patches started getting depleted. Which, how long ago did they start getting depleted? Like a while ago. Like it was about like 9:30, 9:40, 50, whatever. How early? Let's look at it exactly. 10 minutes. It's about to deplete right now. Your 6th base should be starting right now. 6th base. You're on 4. This is the kind of shit that's going to slow you down like fucking crazy. Like already at this point in the game, you should already have 6 bases out, soon to be 7 as soon as this base has some mining issues going on. Like maybe in like 2 minutes from now or 3 minutes from now, you'll have a 7th base started. And you should already have a maxed out army. And at this point now is when you should be doing things like adding on static D. Because like, look at this, okay? Watch this. 0 kills. 0 kills. 0 kills. 0 kills. 0 kills. 1 or wait. Why did I get 1? There's 0 kills. 0 0 0. 0 kills. 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 You have fucking no kills on any of your cannons. This is literally paranoia. They didn't actually do anything. It just slowed you down like fucking crazy. And if you made them now, when your army is no longer able to be defensive because you're going to go attack him, you would then actually get use out of them, because if he decided to not attack you and instead go for like a base trade, or like maybe send like 2 banshees to your middle line while he tries to defend you, so that he can maybe kill your workers while he's trying to defend your army, then the cannons do something. The fact that you're double dipping cannons and an army that just sits there and literally does nothing, and then you make cannons like you have no army, and then you mine mostly gas, like that shit does not fucking add up together very well at all. Because again, like I said, you should have a maxed out army. You could now be adding on all your static D, and you could now be exploding your production, so that you could remax really fast. And like, look at this. This is what I'm talking about, man. Look at this shit. Those are all your gates that are active right now. You are just spamming out gates right now, and you aren't even using your production. You have had gateways that have been ready to go for a while. Okay, let's do it right here, right when these gates come off cooldown. You have half your robos aren't doing, more than half. 2/3 of your robos are literally doing nothing. You're making more gates, you're making more production, but like you're not maxed out yet, and you just have all this fucking production. You have 12 production buildings. One of them still being built at the moment, and you know, and one of them is actually building something. So realistically, you have 11 production buildings, and 1 out of 11 production buildings is actually doing something right now. Just 1 out of 11. There we go. And now you maxed out right around 12 minutes. And now how long does it take you to actually move across the map? You haven't even started scouting him for where his bases are. You're gonna move blind. So this is not what you want to do. As I've said before many times, because this is how fucking players play in low leagues. They always do shit like this because they're like, no one's gonna fucking ever scout this in Platinum League. They fucking do this shit all the time. I can't tell you when I played my games and multiple seasons of Beta GM where I would just be like, alright guys, we're almost maxed out. Let's go ahead and send a unit around the top side, around the bottom side. Oh look, a hidden base again. Oh look, all this fucking hidden tech. Let's just go ahead and go kill that. Like, people do this kind of shit, I would say, like, probably 1/3 of the time. Like, it's really high. They do it very often. And now he's got BCs. But you see what I mean? Check this out. You are... This is the misinterpretation. Like, you actually would somehow fucking attack this hidden base. Cool. Like, good job. You chose the right base right away. That's a bit lucky, I would say, because you did that literally out of fog of war. But check this out. You were paranoid about battlecruisers when they're in large numbers. You're just like, he might do a BC teleport in my base. But he doesn't teleport in your base until 13 minutes. And you've been making cannons in your base ever since around minute 6. You have been making fucking static D. You made a total of now over here as well. You made... how much did you make, dude? I'm going to guess like 20 cannons and like 7 shield batteries. These ones, I'll take it. I'll say these ones are okay though, because you made these as you max. So I'm not going to get on your ass about these. It makes sense when you made them. These though, all these cannons over here, you made these when you were like 140 supply or like 130 supply. Remember how I said like 917? You were like already making these cannons. You made these, all of these. You made all of these. You made all of these. You made like probably like 13 cannons and like 6 batteries before you maxed out, and you started making them at like 6 minutes, and the attack didn't even hit you until 7 minutes after that. And yes, what you said as well, where you're like, I could have been maxed 3 minutes ago. Yes, you could have been. You could have been maxed 3 minutes ago, and on top of that, you could have had just as much static defense as you do right now at 13 minutes with a lot more money in your bank. Like, if I had to guess how much money you've missed out on, if you just comparing your build right now to like an efficient version of what like BGM is, I feel like you've already missed like 7,000 minerals. Honestly, dude. Like, I really do feel like you've missed out on probably mining about 7,000 fucking minerals. Because you should already be on 6 fucking bases with the 7th base about to start. And you're barely on 5. And you never went above 70-ish probes either. You like never went to the 80 realm either, which is like, that's, let's just say you went to 85. That is 12 minerals per second. Right there. So 10 seconds goes by, that's 120. Times that by 6 for 1 minute. What is 120 times 6? That's 720? I think, right? Am I wrong? Is it 720? Am I crazy? But yeah, that's every minute. Just that difference of probes alone. Just that difference of probes alone is 720 minerals a minute. A minute. A minute. A minute. And you could have had 85 probes by like 8 fucking minutes. Or like high 7 minute, low 8 minute mark. That's standard. That's like standard right there. So you could have had that for the last 5 fucking minutes. And that's just the difference of workers you have. Not to mention if you have oversaturated bases, if you have, you know, other shit going on that's a problem for you, whatever. Like probes being idle. This is 100% a macro problem for you. This has nothing to do with the composition that he made. It has everything to do with your macro. I was attacked by 2 banshees. Do you remember? You want to know something funny, Sir Gamermore? Atomic Koopa, when I coached him on how to beat you, he said the exact same thing. He's like, but he attacks me all the time with oracles. And I was like, you know how you counter that? You fucking put your unit in your mineral line. You literally stand in your mineral line. That's all you do. Just fucking make a stalker and walk that bad boy to the mineral line. And now I feel like there's a good chance that you're gonna die. Simply because you're having to break into a guy going PFs. This guy made like all PFs. And he still has battle cruisers. Like you might win this game. I don't know, it's still doable. This guy also isn't macroing at all. This is honestly what platinum normally looks like though. It's just like a lot of inefficiency. Unfortunately. Yeah, I actually think you're probably going to win, to be honest. Which is fine. Good job. But you definitely could do this a lot more efficient, for sure. 100% for sure. You gotta really like think about what your plan is with your resources. And like try to like maximize what you're going to make. The only time you should really be like cutting minerals out of your build to add in gas faster than normal is if your build is tech heavy and it requires gas units. Like if you're gonna make really quick oracles and chrono boost them out or some shit. Yeah, like this game is super over. You have you have a pretty decent economy still. You're almost back to the realm that you want to be in. And he's working with 17 workers on 2 command centers. One of them is probably a PF as well. And it is. He's got actually 4 command centers. But like, look at this shit. This is the kind of shit you see all the time. You're like, what the fuck is this? 2 fucking command centers that are just sitting there. One's on the ground doing nothing. The other one's floating. Doing nothing. It's just super inefficient. Okay, now what I want you to do, honestly, I want you to A-move his ass. I want you to not even micro your units, and I want you to A-move, and I want you to actually work on your macro while you A-move. And I want you to fucking expand again. Because remember how I said you should be on 6 bases? Earlier? 7 bases now. 8 bases, actually, now. This base has mined out a patch as well. There should be 16 here. 8 bases right now. You should have 8 fucking Nexus on the ground right now. You have 6. Now, I know you got base traded, and it makes it a little more complicated and a little annoying. But you should just realize you should have 4 Nexus by default and +1 per base that mines out until you run out of bases to take. And then once you got to a point where you had 8 bases, that is literally half the map. Because if you actually divide this map exactly in 50%, there's 16 bases in total. So 8 bases would be your limit until you start going into his territory. For efficient play. Now, honestly, here, for real, I would want you to 100%, like I said, A-move and then not even micro. Don't even micro. I hope you don't micro. You're going crazy on cannons. A little excessive. You're microing. Watch this. Watch. This is perfect. This is a good example. Look at your money right now. Look at your money. Watch your money. See how you just spent it? I mean, you just made a fuckload of cannons. So you didn't do anything in terms of fixing your production. You have 3 robos, you have 15 gates, you have a Stargate, which is nice, but you didn't fix that pylon. You didn't fix, I mean, I guess, I don't know if you, yeah, you do need upgrades here still, so if you ever want to get those, you got to fix that. These are all fine. These are fine. So you just have a gate and a couple tech buildings that are unpowered. I actually thought this guy killed more of your pylons, or maybe you fixed a lot of it, but you didn't fix all of it. But the point I'm trying to make here is watch this. You do spend your money right now, but watch your money, watch your production and watch your money right now. The second your camera turns, right? Now, watch your money. And also look down here in the bottom middle. This probe, where it says probe, it's going to deselect that. And it's going to select your army. And now look at how many seconds goes by of you just saying, fuck the macro. You have 2 pylons, a cannon, 2 upgrades started. And at like 1950 is when this started. Okay, so it took you 16 seconds, but he did attack you with the battlecruiser, so you're reacting to that, which, I mean, I'm glad you are. That's good. But that was 16 seconds of doing nothing, and that's 16 seconds. Here's how I would say the difference is, okay? This is why this is important. You literally did nothing on macro for 16 seconds. That was actually on the lower end of what I thought it was going to be. I was expecting to see more like 65 seconds or like 80 or something like that. But now let's watch this one more time, and you tell me right now if what you did was worth it. Watch your army when we go to it. Like, you're killing him already as it is. Like, you are already killing his base. You are already killing his base without even being there, is my point I'm trying to make here. Now, watch what you do. Do you need to be here right now? Or do you not need to be here right now? What does this accomplish? You walk your stalkers forward. You kill the PF. I will 100% say you did kill that PF a little bit faster than if you just A-moved it, because you got more of your units in range to kill it. But I guarantee you still would have killed it either way, because your units would have kept fanning out into a large concave around it. And what does he have to defend himself? He has a bunker and 2 tanks. You would have killed this either way. There is 0 chance this PF would have lived. You would have 100% killed it either way. The only difference is I would honestly say you probably killed it about 4 to 5 seconds faster, because you moved your army for that 2-second micro situation. So what does that do? It saves you a couple seconds, because you actually controlled your army. It saves you a couple seconds, but now you're 16 seconds after this all said and done. You're 16 seconds, in my opinion, behind where you should be, because you're not macroing fucking anything. And what do you do now? Like, what now? So the PF is dead. Now, what do you do from this point on that is worthwhile here? What happens here that is worthwhile? If you A-moved him, all this shit is dead either way. Like, this is literally a bunker that has 2 Marines in it and 2 tanks. One of them's not even sieged. That is not going to stop fucking anything on this army. That is not going to stop shit. And you're stutter stepping. You're stutter stepping. You do a recall really fast. You grab your Nexus. That was good. You warp in. That's good. You deal with the battlecruiser. This is fine. You blink at it. You're not microing your army at his base at all. And what's happening with your army at his base right now? It's just fucking standing there. It's been standing there ever since you recalled it. So you gotta get in the habit of you're basically working really hard trying to do everything by yourself, and you to a degree, like, so what I'm about to say is actually going to sound counterproductive to what I said before. I'm not going to say it like that, because it sounds like it's contradictory to what I was saying earlier. Essentially what I'm saying is, what I was going to say is what if you did this? What if the second you recalled your army in your main base, and you went to go, like, you went to your main base, you went back here, and you went recall, and you literally did this. As soon as you recalled, you greenboxed your army, and you went like this. A click, A hold shift, A click, hold shift still, A click. It took you, again, that should not take you like 5 seconds like the pylon thing. That should take you all of 1 or 2 seconds to do that. Super fast. Should not take you very long to execute that kind of a maneuver. And then you actually go back to your base after you had started, a recall and a warp in, and now you grab your stalkers and you blink at his BCs, and you actually do what you're doing right now, while this army maximizes time for this one moment. And to be fair, you could have just ignored the BCs and just attacked his base, and every time a unit died, just warped in a stalker at the BC. Just macroed where he's attacking you. Been like, hey, I'll warp in stalkers because your BCs are right there. You could have done that too, and you would have been just fine. You would have been 100% fine if you just did that, because that's super efficient. Like, in terms of, like, spending your money and using your economy to bash him over the head with. Yeah, I just think you have a kind of like a skewed priority list of what what is important. Your priorities are a little fudged. But long story short, play more efficient in all the ways we just talked about. I gave you many ideas on how to do that. The big one is your build. Like, the idea of how you set up your build. Definitely kind of fix that up. And this game could have ended a long time ago. This game would have been, honestly, in my opinion, a very straightforward. I maxed out. I check the sides of the map. I A-move him. And he just GG's out of the game without me even looking at the army. This is exactly what that game would have been categorized as, because when you maxed out, this dude was like sub 100 supply, and you never harassed him at all, and he harassed you, but you still could have maxed out so fucking, like, you could guaranteed could have maxed out by like 1030 guaranteed could have maxed out, and this dude is at like 80 supply, or he's actually at like 112 now. Still 112 doesn't beat 200 like at all. So I hope that helps, Sir Gamer More. You really just gotta like stick to that fucking macro plan, because this is not macro. What you did this game, this is like it's a variation of macro, but this, in my opinion, this macro is paranoia. This is like, macro is just like do things efficiently. This is paranoia inefficiently. It's not even. It's like you're trying the macro, and I can see that. Like you're expanding, you're building probes, whatever, but your timings on everything are so fucking off on everything. Everything is super off, and you're gonna lose a lot if you don't kind of fix that a little bit. ViBE, can you start over? I came in late. Oh, you just watch the VOD, dude. I'll upload it. This was like an hour long. But yeah. Have a good idea about how you can like fix your stuff up. We, again, like I said, we gave you ideas, so I'm trying to think about what I can say to you, but like I feel like I've kind of said everything I want to say already. Because like when you if the last thing I'll say is, the reason why I say bronze to plat is like a tutorial, and then diamond and above is like when you actually for real start playing StarCraft 2, is because your build, the way you played this game, you would lose to every single Terran player if they just played efficient. Just like your opponent this game would lose to every Protoss player if they just played efficient. Neither one of you played efficient at all this game. You both did weird shit the whole time. That was just like paranoia, fucking awkward. You both scale super slow towards higher supplies. If either one of you just made good supply fast, and there was no reason why either one of you could not have done that, because you both just fucking sat there. It was like 2 Banshees. That's it. 2 Banshees is not going to kill the game. This guy never really attacked you until 13 minutes. And you should have easily been maxed by then. So just clean up your macro to a point where it's just more closer to like the standard efficiency, and you're going to have so much more success. And be very careful about your resource allocation. That is a big one. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah. If you guys liked it, just know there's a lot more out there. There's Bronze GM stuff. There's coaching videos. There's other replay analysis. Go check those out too if you're interested. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope this helps Sir Gamer more and any other Protosters out there that if you ever find yourself in a similar situation as Sir Gamer more here, and you're like always making static D because you're like, Banshees can cloak or BCs can teleport. Just make stalkers and put them in your mineral lines. And if you really have to, make a cannon for the purpose of having detection, not for the purpose of killing everything. Or make observers and spread them out and just literally leave them in your fucking base. Like, put your army there, put your army there, and put your army there. Because if your opponent plays harass style and he's trying to be fucking multi-prongy, and you're just AFK fucking armies in the mineral lines while you macro as fast as you can, you're going to win the game no problem, and Platinum League guaranteed. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace out, guys. Take it easy.